Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Daniel. Ben Brown was here, and then the intro played, and he disappeared. He's in a hotel today, so hold on. Hey, we just did the intro.
What's up, buddy?
All right, cool. Well, I did hello, everybody, so just in time for.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
There we
On the
go.
road.
Yeah. Ben is in Virginia, not seeing Chad Dotson, but at the University of Liberty this weekend.
Yep. Yeah, our travels took us to Liberty. My son had a camp today, which went really well. So a good opportunity came his way. So we're excited.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to see. I know the stories look cool, so I was looking like it was a lot of fun. But we're gonna go ahead and say what's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Late Night Reds. I am Tim Daniel. His name is Ben Brown. We're brought to you by the Riverfront Podcast Network and, of course, Blue Wire, where you can check out all of our fantastic shows. This wouldn't be possible without our wonderful, wonderful friends at patreon.com/RiverfrontCincy, where, hey, we're doing a nice solid Riverfront hang July 6th at noon at Smoke Justice in Covington, Kentucky. Unfortunately, Ben will not be there. Something about, I don't know, family vacations.
Yeah. But dude, it's going to be a blast. It'll be so cool. Hopefully, you guys get down there and hang out with Tim and his guest. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So come hang out with us, have some bourbon, eat some delicious food, and we'll have a good time. So before we keep going to the weekend series against the Brew Crew, like I said, Ben, you're on the road, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Our guy Nate Dotson had a birthday yesterday, but this is
Yes, he
important.
did.
This is important that we talk about this. Nate had his first Buc-ee's experience yesterday.
I saw that. That
Yeah,
place is incredible.
bro,
Absolutely incredible.
incredible. I've had my Buc-ee's experience. I am waiting for a next one. So we had to make sure Nate got his. I've been like telling him ever since he moved to Texas he had to get there, so he finally did it. So
Oh yeah.
we got the chat filling up. We got Carrie in that. Carrie bringing us a lot of spitting hot fire takes before we can go live today, man. So I love to see it. We got Pat Magooch in the building.
What's up, Pat?
We got Josh Beckley in the house. Mr.
Oh, what's going
Juan's
on,
back.
Josh?
What's
Mr.
going on?
Juan, what's good?
All right. Well, hey, so it's fitting that it's Father's Day and we're talking about the Brewers losing to the beating the Reds, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was all going so good too, man. I was
Right.
really excited.
So let's start Friday. 6-5 win. Will Benson, that throw to the plate. Tyler Stevenson's perfect placement of his glove to where someone slides right into his glove. Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Should have lost.
Absolutely.
But hey, good teams win games they shouldn't win all the time, right? That happens.
That's 100% true.
Saturday was the one game of the three that went the way it was supposed to, right? Like they just got beat. It happens.
Yep.
We move on.
Yep.
Today was the most frustrating loss in the season. Not that they lost to a bad team, obviously, but it's a team they had on the ropes and a team they should have beat. And we're going to get into that, I know for sure. I want to speak separately about Ellie's day because I thought Ellie's day was tremendous, obviously, but everything else is really frustrating. They're up 3-0. So Ellie triples in the first. Kendall Larry gets a sac fly to bring him in. Third inning, Ellie walks, steals second. Aaron pickoff throw, he scores. All right,
Which
cool.
is insane.
Yeah. I went up, and then Spencer Steer hits a homer. You're thinking 3-0. Finally beat the Brewers in the series. Let's go. Let's go. Montas gets pulled. And then I blame this on Sam LeCure. So Sam, if you're watching this, which I know you are, you just had to say that one line as soon as they say Lucas is in, right? He goes, Lucas has been really good since April 29th. He's only given up 3 runs, 1 pitch, 3-run homer to Willie Adames. 1 pitch. Oh, man. And so that happens. Ellie hits another homer in the 8th, right-handed one at that. Again, I'm going to do a whole focus segment on Ellie's game today because it was so fun. And then, of course, the ninth inning happens where, all right. So here's the thing. There's a lot in this game today that's really frustrating. And we're not having the season's over conversation.
No, not at all.
The Reds can somehow still make the playoffs without beating the Brewers. It's very possible with an extended postseason. And it's probably the best case they got at this point. But I thought today was a really frustrating loss in the sense that obviously you're up, you have them on the ropes, you have a chance to put them away. And, Montas has one of his rough innings. I thought it was really good.
Absolutely.
Until the sixth inning when he got pulled. What up, Sydney? And then Sims comes in, and you can see when Sims goes up to homer, and I'm not trying to talk about their conflict or anything, not trying to read between the lines there by any means, but do you notice Frankie Montas left the dugout as soon as Lucas Sims gave up that home run?
Yeah. I mean, it was just super frustrating. And it's not the fact that you had them on the ropes and with a chance to beat the number one team in your division. It's the fact that it's the way we did it. You know what I mean? It's the way it kind of went down. Because like I said, you score 5 runs against the Brewers, you probably should win. But you give up a 3-run jack off the first pitch. You still have a chance, and gosh dang it, dude, you never make the last out at home plate.
Okay, this is the whole conversation I want to have. Why is he not running hard? Why is he watching the ball? First off, why is he watching the ball on 2 outs?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. I understand you're in scoring position, and I understand you're trying to keep yourself more chances to win a game, but my guy, everyone knows you're going home.
Yep.
That 2 outs, it's 2 outs, buddy. That ball hits the ground, you got a chance to tie the game.
Yes.
I don't, props William Contreras made a really great tag.
He did. That's an all-star level
for sure
catcher baseball play for sure.
Yeah, but just watching how I don't know, and I saw some people saying that they wish he would have jumped over him. I think as someone who's running full speed, granted I'm not an athlete, I don't think my first thought is ever, I'm gonna jump over this man right here.
Right.
So
not in that sequence,
Right, but excuse me, guys. I had to drink a little energy today. Our episode is unofficially sponsored by Ghost today. If they want to actually be our sponsor, they can.
That would be dope.
Yeah, that's like my pre-workout every day. But I just felt like between how everything went in this game, and I'll talk about the series as a whole as well. I don't blame the manager a lot, but I don't think he managed his best game today. So the Montas thing, I think I would have probably left him in to face Adames and that be his last guy. Not saying the same thing wouldn't have happened, but it felt inevitable when Lucas Sims came in, who, let's be fair, I see a lot of comments in the chat right now is every time I see Lucas Sims, I cringe. I'm about tired of him. And I understand he is a mixed bag of results.
Yes,
and like I said, Sam LeCure jinxed him every way possible today. But been pretty good for about a month now. You know, I'm not the hugest Lucas Sims guy, but I can't say he's been very bad. But the Sam Mull thing in the next inning where I understand Ellie just knocks the ball down and doesn't snag it out of the air. That ball was hit pretty hard. I'm not going to be mad at anybody for that, but that situation didn't go very well. And I understand David Bell's not a pitcher here, but it just felt like he found every way possible to get in his own way in this game. And when you get in your own way and you play better teams, you're going to lose.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing about a lot of these just series in general, especially with the Brewers. I'm not saying you got to play flawless, but gosh, you got to play a lot smarter when you're playing really good teams, because those good teams are only going to give you a certain amount of wiggle room to make dumb mistakes. We got fortunate having 5 errors and a 6-5 win. That's usually not That's usually not what happens when you commit 5 errors. But when you're playing good teams, you can't give them anything, any space. And I feel like when the Reds play the Brewers, like I feel like they are not. I don't want to say not competitive, but they are not on a level of execution quite yet to be able to have small mistakes here and there and be able to beat good teams. Like they're just not there yet. Do I think they'll get there? Yeah, I do. I do think they'll get there because I think they are a solid baseball team. But you can't go in knowing that this is a big series and do some of the things that they did in the series and expect to win 2 out of 3 from a really good baseball team.
How are they a good baseball team at this point? Is what I'm trying to figure out. What?
Yeah,
voodoo magic.
I'll say this, and I've been on the road, so I have to go back and watch replays, so I don't get to see full games. But just in the Brewers' history, just in general,
Yeah.
I just feel like they are managed very well. They have a good mix of young guys and veterans, which you still have guys like Christian Yelich. You have Contreras. Like you still have a good mix of guys there. And I think there's some accountability there, right? So I think there's a Brewers way of doing things. It's kind of like heat culture, I guess, is what they.
I say all the time that they're baseball's version of the Pacers. They're very well run.
Exactly.
They're
very well. They're always competitive. They always make smart moves. They always bring in the right guys. Like they just do things well, and that's the goal of being consistent, right? Like, being a Bengals fan, when you started to get the level of consistency where but you started to get the level of consistency, right? You found your quarterback, you put some good people around him, you got a coach in there that you let him learn his ropes a little bit, and then he got better. You got some better assistants. So you're starting to build that culture. And I think the Brewers have that. You never see them do anything that's like out of place, out of sort, pick up goofy people, do whatever, or do whatever. But it's just one of those things where they try to do things that are going to be complementary to the culture that they have already.
Well, the good news is for the rest of the year, there's only 7 more games against the Brewers. That's the good news.
That's definitely
you're going to see 7 more times.
That's definitely good news.
Yeah. And one of those, Shaquille O'Neal's playing a concert afterwards. Okay, so you can't lose the day Shaq's in the ballpark.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, not when Shaq's there. That's crazy.
Yeah. So you mentioned Friday, and that was insane. I think Elliott 2 errors, Candelario 2 errors.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they freaking won on a defensive play.
Yeah.
And okay, actually, so that whole inning is just insane on both levels. So, they get the tag at the plate, and then was it Bryce? It wasn't Bryce Terang. I think it was Bowers.
Yeah,
has a pop fly, a pop fly to end the game. It's like, I sat there for about 10 seconds and just kind of took in the unbelievable. Couldn't believe that happened thing.
And very rarely do the Brewers do something like that.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
We were just like giving them all these flowers. Like,
why would you bunt in that situation? But, it's very rare that they make that kind of blunder.
Yeah. Thanks, Sydney. It was Perkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Carrie brought this up. Did you see this? Snoop Dogg commenting on Ellie De La Cruz on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I did. Yes.
So Ben and I are avid watchers of the WWE. So we've heard Snoop Dogg do commentary before.
Yes.
It doesn't matter the sport. That's exactly how he does everything that he does commentary for.
Yeah. And I would advise you with the Summer Olympics coming up, him and Kevin Hart do commentary on some Olympic stuff. I would advise that you watch it, dude. It is hilarious.
Oh, it's so good.
They try to be as serious as they can, but like them two together are pretty good. And Snoop, of course, is just anytime he comments anything or does commentary, dude, it's just hilarious because he can't help himself because he can't hide who he is through commentary. It doesn't matter what he's doing. So he's always good to have on.
Yeah, because he's a big Laker fan, so he's done a lot of
Yes.
Laker games, and he is hilarious because there he cares, and he's like really emotionally invested.
Yep.
So the fact he has not dropped an F-bomb doing it, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah,
That's
very
really impressive.
All right, well, thank you, Carrie, for bringing that up because that made my day. I totally forgot about that from yesterday. But let's kind of get to we've kind of tipped out a little bit, so let's just dive into it. So Ellie today. Let's just go through. This is insanity. All right. So first inning, like we said, triples, scores on a sacrifice fly. Third inning, walk, steal second, pickoff throw goes in the center field, scores. Unbelievable. Especially in that Brewers defensive outfield, because that throw was pretty close to getting him at the plate. Sixth inning, strikes out. Okay. Eighth inning, just a second time this year that he has an outside of the park right-handed homer. His inside the parker in April was right-handed. And then the ninth inning, they're like, no, we've had enough. Just go ahead and take your bag, my guy. So that was, dude. All right, we've had this conversation a million times. I asked you last week after he had a really good week if you thought Ellie De La Cruz was back to Ellie De La Cruz, and you said your exact words were, "Ellie's always Ellie. He's just learning how to play Major League Baseball, and going through the growing pains." Today is one of those days where, and I saw Mr. Juan say he's very irritated with his lollygagging defense at times, and I agree. But he had a good week this week. He had that homer in the Guardian series. Had his first bobblehead game. Wasn't a very good game at the plate for him, but he had his first bobblehead game, which was. I got a lot of comments on that one, my guy. That could be a segment in and of itself.
Hold on, comments on the bobblehead day?
Yeah, man, it was a madhouse down at the ballpark apparently, and this could be a conversation. So the conversation, and I've heard this conversation for a very long time because Reds fans are very passionate about their stadium giveaway bobbleheads. As you can see, I have a couple on my display right here.
Absolutely.
So the issue I had a couple of people tweet our Twitter account at was that there was a lot of people who were buying, 9-10 tickets, and either just one person going to the game, or they were checking in, scanning their tickets, getting their bobbleheads, and leaving, and little kids were sitting there not being able to get it.
Oh man!
And so, I think that there's no really way to police this. So I just feel terrible for the little kid who really wanted to go to the game and get a bobblehead of his favorite player and couldn't. That part sucks because it's like, what do you do? Like, I don't really know how you fix that. And I don't know if you can't limit. Carrie says here.
Yeah.
41.50 on eBay during the game. They only gave away like 26,000.
Hold on. $4,000 or so?
No, 4,000 individual bobbleheads went
on eBay
during the game. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man. It was and look, hustler's gonna hustle. All right, I was a frequenter of the Jordan, the Jordan collector who sold a lot of his collection. But I didn't do it I didn't buy a lot of thereof and sell.
Right.
So it was really frustrating. But yeah. There are some people who, like Mr. Juan, I didn't go to the game for the bobblehead. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I do think there's gotta be something here. Someone mentioned, or Carrie mentioned, scan the ticket for one per ticket. I can respect that. Yeah, they're going for triple digits on eBay right now, and I see them pop up every day in Facebook groups. But yeah, man, it's nuts. It's a good bobblehead. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, man, and other conversation. This sucks for the sake of baseball, but Mookie Betts broke his hand today. So
I did see that, dude.
Does this mean he might
98 mile per hour baseball off the freaking hand?
Does this mean that Ellie De La Cruz may be getting his name up into the All-Star ballot?
Oh, I would think so. I
figured he would give votes from kids anyway. But I'm trying to think like around the National League. Like if anyone comes here and says Willie Adames, they're getting kicked out of the chat room immediately. All right. So we got to take that out of here. But I'm trying to like, yeah, I mean Mookie was obviously above and beyond.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sydney says here, interested to see if it changes when Hunter has his bobblehead day. I am too. I really am curious to see how that goes. Carrie, so like Ben said, he's like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball off the hand.
Off the hand, dude. Yeah.
Yamamoto went down today too. So
did he really?
Rough time in Dodgerland.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't know if he went down today, but he went on the IL today.
Dang on. On the bobblehead thing, like you said, I get it. People who collect that, and that's fine.
Sure.
But I just think that there's when you have I'll say this, it's probably special circumstances, and this is no knock on Hunter Green, like not at all. But like Ellie De La Cruz bobblehead is a pretty special bobblehead to have because of how electric the guy is, and you knew everybody was gonna everybody's gonna want one. So the Reds should have taken some precautions. And I don't know what that is. Like you said, maybe it's one scan per, you know what I mean? Or however you need to do it. But and I hate to say shame on the people that take 9 or 10 because I know they're trying to hustle, but there's just something's got to be regulated about that. Because I did read like a kid drove 3.5, parent drove 3.5 hours with my son, and he wasn't able to get one, and some guy walked off with 8. And like I get that, and that sucks. But there's got to be some way to regulate it, and I don't know what that is. But also too, with Ellie, dude, like that's like you said, it's his first one. I mean, geez, people are going to be on fire for it.
Yeah, and I do want to make sure I point out too, I did see a couple tweets as well where people were talking about, I guess the Reds got wind of some of these kids who kind of had this unfortunate circumstance and gave them extras and like brought them down.
That's good.
So kind of kudos to the Reds for making it right for those kids. I'm sure they wish they could do it for everybody. Wait a minute, I saw someone get kicked out of the game for trying to get multiple bobbleheads. Mr. Juan, we're gonna have to investigate this here in a little bit. Let's get back to Ellie's day today. All right, my point was, I can go through bobblehead investigations all day, people. Trust me. Also, looking at critiquing them to see if they look like their counterpart, their real life counterpart, is a fun conversation as well. So this is the experience, right? Like this is remember the Michael Vick Experience commercial where it's the roller coaster?
Absolutely.
That's what this is here, man. This is what like you sign up for when you come to see Ellie De La Cruz play baseball.
Yep. Dude, what a great point though. The Michael Vick Experience. If anybody had the opportunity or the privilege to watch Michael Vick, like that's it. You're spot on, Tim. Like that is it. It is literally the experience of somebody who is a freak athlete who could go 4 for 4 with a home run and 4 steals one day, and then he's going to give you 3 strikeouts the next, and that. But that's spot on. The Michael Vick Experience. That's spot on. It really is.
We're talking about Michael Vick, the athlete on the field, before anyone comes in here. And
Please, PETA, don't come after us.
I have 2 dogs I adore.
Yeah, I have a dog too.
Yeah,
don't come after us.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying. But Carrie brings this up. Side note: I hope Ashcraft is back for his bobblehead. Totally forgot.
Oh yeah.
I like that they did the City Connect bobbleheads this year. I think that was a cool addition. But yeah, man, he's just the best. He's so fun to watch, and I think if you're gonna obviously have these, like the game the other night against the Guards, goes and then go for 4 3 strikeouts. It's gonna happen. It's just is what it is. In a lot of those games this year before they got injured too, Ronald Acuna, that guy just won an MVP. So this guy's going to continue to get better. If the Reds somehow sneak into the playoffs in one of these wild card spots or pull off the miracle of winning the division, maybe the front office decides to go get some better players. I don't know. Anything's possible. That's what Kevin Garnett told us.
In the words of Kevin Garnett.
Yeah. I mean, Celtics about to win the title, so we can do that. But he could very well be an X factor in the game for sure. So this is awesome today. Let's talk real quick about okay, so Carrie asked, what's the latest on Marte and the minors? He went over 4 today is the last I saw.
Okay.
Did you see his interview, by the way, that he had earlier in the week?
I did not.
So, all right, man. So I'm like over why he got suspended. I think that we've all accepted it. We're at this part in the year now. It's time to move on. The guy did something he shouldn't have done. I 1,000% agree with that conversation. I'm all for that point. But when you do an interview with the media for your first conversation, post like you're like getting suspended, getting ready to start your rehabilitation assignment to come back to the big league club, and you tell them, I don't know how I got in my body.
He said that?
My guy.
Oh,
come on.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Who are the PR people letting like we gotta go over statements before you let people get in front of microphones? Like that should have been PR 101. I want to apologize to the organization. I want to apologize to this. I made an error. It was a bad judgment call. I just want to get back to playing baseball. I love this organization. Like stuff like that. Nobody wants to hear that I don't know how I got in my body.
Come on, my guy.
Come on, my guy. Like nobody wants to hear that. Like that's not what we want to hear. We're all excited that you're going to get back on this roster and hopefully pay dividends. Nobody wants to hear that controversial, why? I'm not sure how it happened. Like, we don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just say the right things, do the right things, get back on the field. Simple as that.
Yeah, right. It was an oversight. It was an oversight. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Excited to be with the team.
Excited to be with the team.
I am all for off the cuff press conferences. Believe me, I've sat in quite a few, but there is a time and a place.
Yes, absolutely. And that's not it.
That wasn't it. No, but I'm excited to see how he keeps going. We'll see how things go.
Yeah.
So Mr. Juan is right. We got to give Gene. We gave him his props last week. If you were a regular guest again, Mr. Juan, you would know this, but you just had to go hang out other places Sunday nights. But I'm kidding. No, man, absolutely. He's been tremendous. Gosh, what was the game? Was it the Guardians game? He had 2 homers.
Yeah.
Won the game by himself, basically.
Yep.
Man, just so.
So Tim, you are you're a guy who pays attention to the details of the game. What do you think has been the biggest difference from when we were like, man, why is this guy why is he not getting sit down to the bats to now?
I think it's just so our good buddy over at Locked On Reds, Jeff Carr, did a pretty lengthy and detailed conversation about when it takes him a long time to kind of get comfortable. And it takes it's like April or May, kind of middle of May is normally when things start to get going. And when I talked to John a couple weeks ago, he made the mention about Ellie that just trying to talk about him getting his groove with Aaron Judge. It's only about the 200 plate appearance of the year is when Aaron Judge becomes Aaron Judge. Yeah. So I think it's just reps. And obviously we saw what he did when he was traded to the Cubs last July and played the Reds that first series. And I think it's just getting comfortable with the season. He's in his groove, and he did have a little of an IL stint earlier in the year, if you recall.
Yeah.
So I think just kind of being on the block, being there every day. I still don't love him as a first baseman, but
yes. So what you're saying is spring training is overrated.
Remember Luke Maley's spring training stats, Ben?
Yeah,
they're pretty great. They're pretty great.
Who cares about that spring training stuff?
And I love Luke Maley. This is not me knocking Luke Maley by saying that, but if you look at 2024 spring training Luke Maley and 90 plate appearances in 2024 Luke Maley, it's 2 different dudes.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk about Terry Lee. Let's talk about our guy.
Yeah.
Buddy. All right, so I know someone's going to point out that his last 7 games have not been very good. No one's last 7 games been very good. Tyler Stevenson's last 7 games, he's 1 of 16, but he's had 4 walks. He's making contact.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
But bigger picture than that, TJ Friedel's last 15 games, slash line 250, 354, 42, 4 homers, 13 RBI, 6 walks, 4 stolen bases, commanding center field like he once did. Buddy, I think TJ's becoming TJ again. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. He looks, we just talked about being comfortable. He looks comfortable. He's a guy that is I feel like he's like that comfortable blanket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can rely on him. He's dependable. He's a guy that's going to give you good plate appearances. He's going to play great defense. He commands the strike zone. He's always going to make solid contact. He is the prototypical leadoff hitter. Like he does that so well. He sets the table for everything that we do. So it's pretty cool to have him get to where he should be after those 2 horrible injuries. So it's really nice to have him back to where his slash numbers look really good. So it's it's good. It's a good thing to have him back there. He's another guy. Oh, there it is. Another cog in the wheel, man, of where, he is getting our lineup more closer to normal than it has been all year, having him in it.
Yeah, I think the word we used last year is he just legitimizes it.
Yes.
And I feel like just kind of having him there just makes everything kind of fall in place.
Yeah.
And Carrie said earlier, he's a spark for sure.
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
How did Mr. Juan know we had a Griffey segment scheduled for this episode too? I mean, I don't send him the notes. The only person that gets these notes before the show is Ben.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Juan stays on top of his game.
Yeah, he does. City talks about it. He's so good at having long plate appearances.
Yes.
I thought he was always pretty good at giving you a tough at bat. But dude, I think since this year, like he's been so good at just like if he's down 1-2, making that pitcher's life very difficult as much as possible. That's been really fun. Josh brings up the point. He sets the outfield platoon for left field, right field as well. Completely agree with his ability to hit both left-handed and right-handed pitching. I miss from both sides of the plate. That is not true. Do not quote me on that. I've been out of sorts, guys. I thought Game 5 of the finals was tonight, so I set up my iPad to have on while I'm watching the game.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, it's tomorrow. Okay,
it's tomorrow.
Yeah. Not that it matters, but yeah, man. I'm really happy to see him getting comfortable.
Yeah.
And with
he's a table setter, man.
That's the perfect word. Thank you.
He's a table setter.
I was trying to find it. It was on the tip of my tongue. That's the best way to put it. Maybe we can get TJ Friedel bobblehead night.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
I think Jake Fraley's had the Viking helmet, which we have not had a discussion about the fact that the Viking helmet ended this year.
Yeah, we have not.
It's been about 3 weeks.
Yeah, I guess they're doing a celebration down in the clubhouse now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder why the Viking helmet was laid to rest. That was a pretty big deal.
Well, since they changed it, they've been winning. So
I mean, maybe it was just maybe it was just one of those things where they were just like, man, we just need to change it up and do something different. And sometimes teams do that. You know what I mean? It's like, wearing different underwear or switching up your socks or whatever. Maybe that was the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if Wade Boggs ever ate steak before a game, just to switch it up, but
right.
Yeah. Look, I love chicken as much as any human being alive. I don't know if I could do it every day. I don't know how that man. But you know what? That dude also hit like 335 his career.
I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say he was a career like 330 hitter. So whatever he did was right.
So, okay, this has come up a couple times today. You kind of mentioned you were obviously really busy this weekend. So Sam LeCure filled in this weekend on the TV broadcast.
Okay.
Not the best. Not the best.
Really?
Yeah, just I know we all kind of give Barry some crap, and most of the time rightfully so. Barry the baseball player will forever be an idol of mine. Barry the commentator. It's like when your favorite basketball player becomes a head coach and you're like, ugh. Believe me, my
Yeah.
favorite basketball player of all time is Penny Hardaway. I can say that. So
Hold on. So here's my conversation. We'll get back to Liqueur just a second. So I guess Tom Brady was in the booth today for like a UFL or something.
Oh, was
That's
he?
that's one of my biggest fears because I mean, although Brady went to Michigan and I hate Michigan, I kind of like Tom Brady. I think he knows the game. He's passionate about the game. But will that transcend over to commentating? So
I hope so.
yeah, because he's really good. Anyway, so back to Sam Liqueur.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Petey Hendricks, Burger King had a big doubles promotion one year, but when Chicken Man won the doubles side on the AL, the promotion went away. Hold on. Why'd this go away? Because we've all had Burger King's chicken sandwich.
Legit.
It's almost, it's not Chick-fil-A, obviously, but it's goated.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's solid. So, interesting. But yeah, man, the thing about him, about Liqueur, it's not that I don't think he doesn't know baseball. I certainly think he does. And I think some of his conversation, and I know he was like goofing, but I'm still I still believe in the whole professionalism thing. He called the guy who got out at the ninth inning an idiot. I know he was joking. Just a weird look.
Yeah. I tell you what, there's a lot that goes into that people don't realize. So until you're standing in those shoes, and for Sam Liqueur, he's filling in. So it's like until you're standing in those shoes and you get the what's for and what to say, what not to say, and this is how you kind of command the booth per se. Like it's difficult. So not everybody can get in there and just do it just because you're a former baseball player or you work with the Reds or you do the post game, because of course the post game is completely different because you've already seen all the highlights.
He was doing that still. So this weekend he was doing the broadcast with Sadak, and then he went and did the post game with Annie.
Oh wow,
that's
double duty.
Props for that. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a long day.
But man, yeah, Petey, right here. This is spot on. If you talk for 3 hours and don't say anything dumb, you are better than me. Well, that's why we get podcasts, my friend.
Absolutely.
I don't remember where we are in the rundown at this point. I'm just having fun. Carrie, bring it. Yeah, this has been great. TJ Antone has been awesome in the booth in his few times while he's recovering from Tommy John. I really want that dude to make the comeback from the third surgery. It's not a common thing, obviously. But man, that would be really awesome. And he's been great. Just kind of talking about, I think the thing that's been awesome about him is the fact he is these guys' teammates. So when he's watching Nick Lodolo pitch and he's calling his game, he's talking about his characteristics, what he tries to do. It's pretty awesome. And so I think he's got it, dude. Like if this comeback hopefully does work out, but if it doesn't, I really hope he's got a spot in the Reds booth.
Well, I mean, there's something to it, right? I mean, there's a knack to being able to do that and call games and make it feel natural, like you're in the dugout, right? Like, the reason why, and I was not a big Marty Brennaman fan, but there are people that liked him because he took the position of the fan, right? Like he was the guy that it would say the things that people were thinking or what he thought they were thinking. And that's why people liked it, because he had a knack for doing those things. All your really good broadcasters have that, you know what I mean? So, for guys that have that natural ability to relate and connect, it makes it that much easier for them to make that transition. Some people have it, some people don't, you know what I mean? So it's interesting to see who has it, who doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, PD says there's a lot to do in the booth, and Antone is naturally better than Larkin ever will be. And it pains me to say I agree. I don't really like to talk bad about the Reds or anything like that. But besides, like, I can express frustration. But yeah, man, for everything Barry was, the MVP, the 30-30, the Hall of Famer, this is not his strength.
You're old enough to remember Magic Johnson calling the finals, right?
I'm old enough to remember Magic Johnson being the head coach of the Lakers. All right.
Yeah. So like everybody loves Magic. Like he was freaking he's Magic. You know what I mean? The go to point guards. Like that dude was brutal call in the finals and NBA games. Like it was bad. We're like, man, like you play the game, right? Magic, like what you like it was just bad. He just did not have a natural knack to do that. You know, now I mean, obviously he found other things and ways to make money and runs billion-dollar businesses, but commentating on basketball just wasn't his thing. And neither was coaching it.
Steve says, I'm always remember Magic playing for the Lakers. First off, what up, Steve Offenbaker? Guest of ours.
There we go.
Will be a guest of ours at the Smoke Justice show, so please come hang out. But yes, that is the legend that is. Hey, Bob's back in. He asked a really good question. I really want to talk about this. So, seeing as the Reds are the number 2 pick at the deadline, since it'll be Condon, Bazana, or Burns might be the pick, do they make a trade? This is a great question because the way guys are coming up, and hey, we're going to talk about Paul Skeens here in a few minutes because he's pitching against the Reds tomorrow. That's a great conversation to have because first off, please be Condon. Not that I'm upset either way, but if Charlie Condon drops to the Reds, I'm gonna be very excited, young man for this. But I think that's a really good point because I think the obvious need for this team has for sure been right-handed outfielder. And before anyone comes at me with this Stuart Fairchild, he's hitting so-and-so against left-handed pitching. I know. But do we feel like that's formidable?
Or is it a long-term?
Right.
Is it a long-term 10-year solid guy?
I don't know. Definitely not, obviously. But Condon would be if they, yes. But the Reds also don't keep anyone for 10 years either. Mr. Juan says Travis Bazana. I agree. I do agree. But I just think the Guardians are going to take Bazana. It feels like that's kind of the conversation we had last week with Quincy from Guardians Fancast. Kind of sounds like that's his point. Ooh. Sydney says we need to do a live draft stream. Yep. Putting that in the docket.
Wow. Yeah, I'd have to do some studying up. Now, the Pazanin kid, I think I just saw him play College World Series. Who's he play for? He was
Oregon State.
Oregon State. Okay, yeah. So I think I just saw him play. Yeah, he's a monster.
Bro. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Both those kids, like this class, from what I understand, this is my not very intelligent baseball scouting conversation by any means. So take all of this with a grain of salt. The understanding I have is this class is not as deep as last year's, but 1 and 2 are generational or potentially generational players.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's some of the conversation I've seen. Mr. Juan's talking about Nick Senzel. My guy's doing his thing over there in Washington, right? He's fighting Mackenzie Gore in the dugout.
I was going to say, hold on.
He's hitting over 770.
Didn't he just get into a fight in the dugout?
Is there 2 better players than the 2 former number 1 prospects to get in a fight in the dugout?
Hold on. I never heard the backstory to that. Was there a backstory to that?
So this is all Twitter timeline telling me what happened. Apparently, Senzel missed the play at third that allowed a runner to score. Gore went to talk to him in the dugout about it. And Senzel got defensive, which not like we never saw that before in Cincinnati, right? You know?
Touché.
Right.
Touché.
But man, I was worried we're going to be running under time, but the chat is hopping tonight. We're having a lot of fun conversation.
Heck yeah.
This is good. I wanted to make sure we talked about this since it is Father's Day and the arguably greatest Father's Day memory in Reds history of Ken Griffey Jr.'s 500th homer. I wanted to make sure we took some time to talk about it. One of my favorite moments as a kid growing up. Obviously, you've heard me talk a million times about what Griffey meant to me as a baseball fan growing up. Maybe my favorite athlete of all time. So really want to make sure we talked about this. And I was going to get your thoughts on what you remember. So here's the thing I remember the most. And I don't know how much we're putting ourselves back in 2004. 20 years ago this week, it happened. So do you remember the week between 499 and 500 where you were like, how long you were waiting for it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was brutal. It was brutal because everybody was on pins and needles every time he got up, and we're just like, oh my gosh. And something would happen, and it was like, it was brutal. It was crazy.
Because he had $4.99 in Cincinnati. They were playing the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had 2 more games in Cincinnati before they hit the road. And so it was like, huh? Huh? He had like I remember one point he hit a double in the gap, but the TV camera made it look like it was like one of those shots.
Yeah.
So you're like, ah! Oh man. But just how long it took for that. And I remember so funny is that I was watching every single at bat because I wanted to see it happen. Same way I did when Bonds hit 70. Like Baseball Tonight would like just always put him on just to see if it happened, kind of thing. But obviously this one meant more to me because of who it was. And I just remember like, it's gonna happen. I freaking missed it. It was the one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was in the car listening to it on the radio. So I didn't even see it happen.
Oh my gosh. No, I'll never forget it. I was at my dad's house, and of course it was Father's Day. So I was at my dad's house, and we had just like either sat down to eat dinner or finishing dinner, and the TV was behind us, and he literally said, "Griffey's up to bat," and I turned. And just at that time, like I turned and I was like, oh my God, it's 500. Like we were just literally watching it together. So like that was crazy. But yeah, that was incredible. I did actually get to see it.
Yeah, because I saw 400 in Colorado on TV. And it was really late at night. And I saw 600 in Miami Stadium. There was like 20 people there.
Yes. There was nobody there.
And then the other thing, obviously, everyone remembers is Ken Griffey Jr. So Petey brings up here.
Oh yeah,
was going town to town with the team because he wanted to be there for 500. Yep. So I thought that was cool. One story I did not know, and this is a cheap plug of our network. So Seth on Red Leg Roundtable just had an interview with Marty. So I guess Griffey told him, "Hey, you're calling my 500th homer," and he goes, "Well, if it's in the 4th or 7th, I'm not, because that's the inning that my partner has the inning." He's like, no. You're calling my 500th home run. And they literally had a argument about it and went to the GM, and the GM had to put a statement out. Marty made him put a statement out, not to bury the whole story. It's a great interview. Right. Please listen to it. The GM literally had to put a release out that said that Marty's calling the home run at the request of Ken Griffey Jr.
No way.
Yeah. So even if Griffey batted in the 4th or 7th, and I can't remember who his partner was at the time, I should remember that, but Marty would come and call the Griffey bat and go right back to what he was doing.
Wow.
So, man.
Well, I mean, only right, I guess. I mean, the voice of the Reds for 40-something years or whatever.
Yeah, because I think Nux had he passed at that point? Had Nuxall passed at that point? I want to say yes. I could be wrong.
I was gonna say I'm not sure.
Yeah. Here's some other things about the 2004 Ken Griffey Jr. season that people seem to remember and completely overlook. I took notes. Right. Got selected to the All-Star team that year, which was awesome. Was great that year. Was awesome. So this was his 2004. So only 83 games, 20 home runs, 60 RBI, 18 doubles, 49 runs, and 348 plate appearances.
Oh my gosh. He was incredible.
Got hurt in August.
Yeah.
Missed the rest of the year. The Reds finished 76 and 86 that year. You know what their record was in games that they had Ken Griffey Jr.?
Not a clue.
43 and 38.
Wow. Holy cow. Jeez, that's impressive, dude.
They were like...
That's impressive.
So, yeah. So, it was Nuxall. Okay. As the chat confirmed. Thank you all. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude. So, I remember that 2014 pretty well. They were pretty good, but it was like he was kind of the train that kept them rolling. That's obviously done. LaRue, D'Angelo Jimenez was like really randomly good for stretches that year. Dunn had 46 bombs that year. William O'Pena had 26. Griffey played half the games those guys did. Was fourth on a team in homers. So it's very easy to say what happens if Ken Griffey Jr. stays healthy in 2004. You can say that for his whole Reds tenure, I'm well aware. But 2004 specifically, that team was really freaking good when he was in the lineup.
He would have been an MVP candidate for sure.
Yeah, because 05, he has a healthy season. He's really good. I think 07, I think he was All-Star Game MVP. Whoa. We have this option? I know this is a thing. Whoa. Mr. Juan. This is the first time it's happened to us. My guy, first off, thank you so much. This is super nice. Whoa.
Thanks, Mr. Juan.
Dude, this rules. I really appreciate this. All right, so what realistic players would you target in the trade deadline? Also, please accept this gift as my apology for not being here every Sunday. I was only kidding. I was just joking.
Mr. Juan, that's awesome.
That's so cool. Thank you. All right. That is a great question because, and Mr. Juan, please don't think I'm being unprofessional. I'm literally just at the point where I'm looking at my phone because I have not done my trade deadline dives yet. When you run a basketball show and this, I'm like in NBA draft mode. So I'm in a lot of places right now. Man, I think the obvious one, and I'm probably way off base. I might be out of pocket in some of these comments I'm going to make here, guys. So forgive me. Luis Robert is one that comes up a lot. And I know a lot of people are concerned with the fact that he hasn't been healthy. And I totally understand that. But I think as far as a right-handed outfielder, that when TJ does need a day where he doesn't have to play center field, you can throw him in there. You can put him in the corners. Has a tendency to hit for power, can hit anywhere in the order. Playing at a smaller stadium, maybe going to a team that has a chance to make the postseason, makes him rejuvenated. I would love that. And then the other one who I've seen pop up quite a bit of late, and I don't know if this will happen because the Mets are getting hot, is JD Martinez. He has been really good of late. Man, he's been really, really, really good. And I would really love to see him in a Reds jersey because he rules. Sorry to our guy, Carlos Guevara. I know that the Mets just played his beloved San Diego Padres, but JD Martinez this year as an 881 OPS, 8 homers, 27 RBI, and a 293 batting average. By the way, he's like 37. Hit 2 homers yesterday. I see in the chat people are talking about Pete Alonso. Guys, you would not find a happier human being alive than me if Pete Alonso came to the Reds. I understand that he's an unrestricted free agent. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that could probably offer a little more than the Reds can right now for Pete Alonso.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But if I'm wrong and the polar bear comes to GABP, I mean, sign me up.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
Not one bit. My dream scenario, and this is totally out of pocket. Totally out of pocket. Jazz Chisholm.
I was going to say, we had talked about Jazz Chisholm coming to the Reds, which would be insane.
So my point there, and I understand a lot of people are going to be like, what about, he's a left-handed outfielder, left-handed center fielder. We have one of those already. Totally agree. But can you imagine a situation where he has the ability to play middle infield? Who knows when Matt McLean's coming back? You have that flexibility, potential to DH, talented as all can be out. I know it has a high strikeout rate, still a really good contact hitter. I hate to say it, you're not getting much out of Will Benson right now. Matter of fact, 1 for his last 18, I think I want to say. So I think that's kind of a thing there. Obviously can disrupt games on the base path. He's 13 stolen base this year, 762 OPS. Yes, I am reading right off my phone because I don't have it in front of me. And I don't know what the Marlins are the Marlins. So they have dumb organization. So maybe you can trick them into something. But Those are three guys I could potentially think of. I haven't looked at the American League to see who would be available. Because everyone in the American League, except for like the Angels, the A's, and the White Sox, are kind of still in it, right?
They're all in it. They're all in it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think the Tigers are going to trade anybody. They're 3 games back. I don't know. There's been some rumors about Toronto. Toronto might be shopping some guys, but I don't know who there would make a lot of sense for the Reds. I love Bo Bichette. I don't want him. I don't think he would make sense for them.
Yeah.
You know, do I want Dalton Varsho? No. Do I think Vladdy's coming to Cincinnati? No chance.
No. Yeah, not a chance.
Bad. So this is going to be, I will say, and I'm not just saying this in the sense that like we're the Riverfront and we're those guys, but I think if they're close, if they're in the race, they've got to do something this year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think if you're anywhere near, the wild card or playoff spot, you got to make a move.
Steve.
But you got to make a move just to show your organization and the fan base that you're serious about winning. So, I mean, if there's a move that needs to be made or they feel like needs to be made, then they need to make that move.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see because, like I said, basically everyone's in the race with the extended postseason right now, except for about in the National League. Who's out? The Marlins, the Rockies. Basically, the only teams that don't have a shot. In the American League, the White Sox, the A's, and the Angels.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I would call the Angels. Hear me out here, guys. And I'd be like, hey, you guys aren't going anywhere. You probably need to dump some salary. You guys got this Mike Trout guy who's just collecting paychecks at home for you. Right. What do you think? Would you he's not doing you any good not playing. So,
but see, they're the type of team like, yeah, trade us like Ellie, and you're like, come on, really? Like,
they're the guy in your fantasy football league that you're like, hey, I need a backup running back this week. All right, send me Josh Allen. You're like,
yeah, you're like, really?
No,
like, come on, man. No, I'm not. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I don't care what anyone says. Anyone can bring up his injury history, whatever. I would 1,000% take Mike Trout in Cincinnati. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
this could get clipped.
On a good deal.
This could get clipped, and someone could use this against me, and I understand. Don't tell me that week of that trade would not be the most fun possible. Of like, holy crap, Mike Trout's here. We have content for weeks. He's in the chat. He knows exactly what I'm saying. Content creates cash, people, for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Juan, thank you for the donation. I have never seen that before. It happened to us, so we're very grateful. You're welcome back any Sunday. And I saw you said bring back Harrison Bader. I saw today Carlos said that Harrison Bader had more hits for the Mets in this Padres series this weekend than he ever did with the Reds. To where Doug Gray, our buddy, goes, so like 2? All right. So up next for the Reds is obviously a trip against my least favorite team in baseball, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and also a team that's in it right now, but a team that we all know. We can talk about the Reds fumbling the bag all we want.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Pirates had Garrett Cole, people. Let's never forget this, all right? Like, the Reds have fumbled the bag, but they have not fumbled the bag like that. All right, so if the Reds lose this series, I'm going to lose my mind. Let's just be honest. We all know. To the point where I have Yasiel Puig here fighting the Pirates. One of my all-time favorite moments.
That's a dope picture, too.
That was the first of them. Remember the second time he fought them, he was traded and still on the field.
He was traded, and still there.
That's like I think that's the part of the story I love the most is that like he was traded to the Indians. He was still in the game. And he's just fighting people. So he gets traded to the Indians. They're like, hey, you got traded. By the way, you also got suspended.
Yep.
Dude, I'll tell you what. So I know Paul Skeens is taking the ball tomorrow for the Pirates. I am really excited to see how Carson Spires pitched in this game. It's his first time actually starting this year. he had the bullpen day where he had about 6 innings and was tremendous. I think, this could be a really, really good matchup. The Pirates offense has not been tremendous by any means. Tuesday, you got our guy, Nicky Ball Games taking the hill. Nick Lodolo going against Bailey Falter. I think that's a game in the Reds' advantage. Wednesday, as a baseball fan, is one of those games where you want to watch the game because of who's pitching. You've got Hunter Green going against Mitch Keller, 2 really, really good pitchers. I would give anything for Mitch Keller to not pitch for the Pirates anymore because I could then like him.
He's been really good.
Paul Skeens, I'm not worried about. That's like a 6-year expiration date. We know at some point he's not going to be there. But
he'll be a Yankee.
Right. Mitch Keller, we need to find a way to get him out of there because he's very good, and I don't want him pitching for teams that are a bunch of bums.
Right.
But first matchup with the Pirates this year, a chance to really kind of knock them back a little bit because both teams right now have the same record. Yeah, so Steve brings it up. Paul Skeens' strikeouts per 9 is unbelievable. He doesn't walk people, so that's fun. He's just really, really good at what he does.
Yes, he is.
So tomorrow is just kind of hopefully the best possible. Be competitive. Maybe some balls will drop in the outfield and you'll get some bases runners on, but what happens when Paul Skeens takes the hill. And then I'll tell you what, I'm really excited for once you get to this series, they come back home next weekend and the Red Sox come to town, who are very mediocre.
Yeah.
And so I got really curious about this, Ben, recently, because I was wondering what the heck happened to the Red Sox, because when I was in high school and I was making your copies and you were getting me out of all my classes, which was very appreciative.
Absolutely.
They were winning the World Series a lot.
Yes, they were.
And they were very competitive and they were really good and they were getting all these guys. And then all of a sudden it was just this like post Mookie Betts trade. It felt like they just folded and they had some bad free agent signings, but
we lost their GM too.
Yeah. I did not realize just how much they basically just quit and weren't competitive. And the Mookie Betts trade has a chance to possibly be the next Babe Ruth trade for them, where it's like the curse of the Mook. And he goes and wins the World Series, obviously, with the Dodgers. Before he got hurt this year, he was an MVP candidate. God only knows if he can be back in time to keep that going. Broken hand, not something to mess with, especially in baseball. But it's always a different atmosphere when the Red Sox come to town. It's few and far between, obviously. And we've talked on here, we don't really think interleague play is necessarily a thing anymore. So everyone plays by the same rules, DH, and everyone plays everyone. But something different about when the Red Sox come to town. It's kind of a cool place to be. This ballpark.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to make it one of those games.
It should be fun.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, with that being said, Ben has been on the road forever, so I need to go let him rest.
It's crazy, man.
Where are you tomorrow? Are you going from Virginia to South Bend, Indiana, and then to Champaign, Illinois? Then
so tomorrow we're home. Wednesday we're in Purdue, Fort Wayne. And then we come home, go back to Miami of Ohio, leave from Miami of Ohio to go to Normal, Illinois, the home of Illinois State. So that'll be the trek. That'll be the trek next week. So I will be I'll be in a hotel room again next Sunday. So
you know what the best thing about this, though, for those who don't know, Ben's traveling around the Midwest for all these visits. Everywhere you go, Sheetz.
Oh, dude, got my Sheetz card. Just filled up at Sheetz gas station twice on the way here. So I'm a Sheetz guy.
Oh man. Sheetz. Here's my ploy. Sheetz. If you come across this clip right here, I will clip it and send it to you, or I'll have our guys do it because I don't know how to do that. We will 1,000% really appreciate a sponsorship.
Oh, absolutely.
Steve wants to know, when is Isaac visiting the University of Hawaii? If Isaac gets a scholarship in Hawaii, I'm getting season tickets. And that'll be the move. That'll be the move. 20-hour flights every Friday. Fine.
Yep.
Red eyes, we'll do it.
Red eyes, we'll do it. It won't even matter.
But Sheets, pay attention because two of your biggest fans here, we don't have them close to us. We can only get them on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone in the chat not know what we're talking about, by the way?
Holla at your boys, Sheets. Holla at your boys.
So, Sheets, please, if you just want to send us a t-shirt, we'll wear it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But we would love to be Team Sheets because we already are Team Sheets. We're card-carrying members. Literally.
Absolutely.
I
literally have a card.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we will go ahead and wrap up this week's edition of Late Night Reds, brought to you by the Riverfront and Blue Wire Podcast Network. If you're checking us out for the first time, please take a second to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Specifically like this video so we can get this out for people before the Pirate series. If you are listening to us on your podcast app of choice, of course, give us that nice solid subscription, a nice review. Yes, Mr. Juan, Sheets does have the best restroom. It's always clean. Yes. It's always tidy. I don't ever run out of paper towels when I wash my hands.
Yep. Beautiful.
Ooh, look at this. We got some Sheets vibes here. Sheets brings up the mood, right?
Yes, it does.
Nate just went to Buc-ee's. We're talking about its arch nemesis right now.
And we got Wawa coming too, which is I heard Wawa's got a following.
I heard that too. Publix is coming to Northern Kentucky, so
yeah, we're moving up.
We're changing the game out here. We thought Trader Joe's was a step up. Holy moly!
I know.
But please be sure to take some time to follow all of our other shows, whether it be Welcome to the Jungle with Parker and Joe. They're kind of going through the AFC North teams right now and kind of talking about their scouting reports from their off seasons. Been a really, really fun listen so far. They've done the Steelers and the Browns. Next week they have the Ravens, who a lot of people seem to think are better than the Bengals. I do not, but that is not my show. So also be sure to check out Everyone Here, Red Leg Roundtable. Seth Shaner released a really cool episode yesterday for Father's Day with his grandpa, who he credits for making him a Reds fan. It's a really, really great listen for those of us who have those father figure son baseball moments. It's an awesome listen. And Chad was just on with a good friend Joel Luckup the other day, the Red statistician himself. And Ben, you'll be happy to know Joel is a huge Pacers fan. So
yeah, there it is, baby.
We got to make sure we get Joel to come visit us as well. And hey, he's here in the chat. He's our guy. They're like our sister show. We love those guys very much. If you aren't already, check out Steve and our good friend Jeff Carr, who is not me. I am Walmart Jeff Carr. I am Walmart Jeff Carr. We've been through this on Locked On Reds every single day. They don't need me to plug them, but I do anyway. So on behalf of Ben Brown, this is Tim Daniel. Everyone have a great night, and we will see you all next week, hopefully celebrating a victory over the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Happy Father's Day.